Back at the ranch, panic turns into anger. Carter blames himself for not protecting Beth. The young cowboy becomes increasingly reckless, eventually confronting several armed trespassers near the property line. The encounter nearly turns deadly. But it also uncovers a shocking clue. One of the intruders is carrying maps showing future development plans that completely erase the Dutton Ranch from existence. The ranch isn't just being threatened. It's being targeted for elimination. As the episode reaches its climax, Rip finally locates the warehouse where Beth is being held. Under cover of darkness, he and his men move into position. The tension becomes unbearable. Rip loads his rifle. The ranch hands spread out. The enemy has no idea what's coming. Then chaos erupts. A fierce gunfight breaks out as Rip storms the compound. Vehicles crash through gates. Armed men scatter into the darkness. Beth manages to free herself during the confusion and joins the fight. Within minutes, the kidnappers realize they've made a fatal mistake. Nobody takes Beth Dutton and walks away. When the dust settles, Rip and Beth finally reunite. But their victory is short-lived. One captured attacker reveals a devastating truth. The kidnapping was only the first phase. A much larger attack against the ranch is already underway. The episode ends with Rip and Beth racing back toward the ranch as massive plumes of smoke rise in the distance. Beth stares out the truck window. Rip grips the steering wheel tighter. Both know what they're seeing. Their home is under attack. The screen cuts to black. Someone is funding a campaign to drive the Duttons out of Texas. Beth and Rip finally realize they are facing an enemy much larger than the Jackson family. The battle has evolved. The real war is just beginning. In the episode's most dramatic sequence, Rip leads a nighttime operation to intercept a group of intruders crossing onto ranch property. The tension builds with every step. Flashlights cut through darkness. Horses move silently across open ground. Wind howls across the Texas plains. Then a gunshot breaks the silence. Everything erupts. Chaos spreads across the ranch. Men scatter. Vehicles race across dirt roads. Rip charges forward without hesitation. When the smoke clears, one man lies seriously injured. Another disappears into the darkness. And Rip discovers evidence revealing the identity of the mastermind behind the attacks. The revelation leaves him stunned. Because the enemy isn't who anyone expected. Not Beth. Not Carter. Not Joaquin. Not even Beulah. Someone else has been orchestrating events from the shadows since the beginning of the season. Someone connected to both the Duttons and the Jacksons. Someone who benefits if both families destroy each other. The final 10 minutes deliver the emotional punch fans have been waiting for. The ranch is under threat. And if anyone comes after Beth or Carter, there will be consequences. The old Rip Wheeler is back. The man Yellowstone fans remember. The man who solves problems with action instead of words. The man everyone fears. As night falls, a convoy of trucks arrives near disputed territory. Rip watches from a ridge overlooking the valley. The trucks belong to people who have no business being there. Armed men begin unloading equipment. Survey markers appear along the property boundary. Someone is claiming land that doesn't belong to them. Rip immediately knows what this means. War. Elsewhere, Carter finds himself struggling with his place in the family. Ever since arriving in Texas, he's tried to prove he belongs. But every new conflict reminds him that he isn't a Dutton by blood. He's haunted by fears that one day Beth and Rip will lose everything because of him. During a heartfelt conversation with Rip, Carter finally admits his fears. Rip responds with the kind of honesty only he can deliver. He tells Carter that family isn't built through blood. It's built through loyalty. Through sacrifice. Through showing up when things get difficult. The emotional exchange becomes one of the most powerful moments of the episode. For Carter, it changes everything. For Rip, it confirms something he has known for years. The ranch is worth fighting for because of the people living on it, not the land itself. As tensions escalate, Beth makes a shocking discovery regarding Mariano. Questions raised in episode 7 begin producing answers. The mysterious connections between Mariano, Beulah, and the Jackson family appear deeper than anyone imagined. Secrets buried for decades start resurfacing, threatening to destroy reputations and relationships alike. Beth follows a trail of old records, photographs, letters, financial documents. Every clue points toward a truth that could rewrite the history of the region. The deeper she digs, the more dangerous her investigation becomes. Someone notices. Someone starts watching her. And someone decides she knows too much. Late one evening, Beth receives a warning. A vehicle appears outside the ranch house. No driver. No license plates. Just a single envelope. Inside is a photograph. On the back are 3 words. Stop digging now. Beth smiles. The warning doesn't scare her. It motivates her. Because if someone wants her to stop, she knows she's getting close. Very close. Meanwhile, Robwell begins consolidating power. With Beulah incapacitated, he believes his opportunity has finally arrived. He starts making decisions without consulting anyone. He fires loyal employees. Cancels long-standing agreements. Moves money between accounts. The actions shock even his closest allies. Joaquin watches in disbelief. Everything their family built is being dismantled piece by piece. The brothers eventually confront one another. Rip slams his foot against the accelerator as the truck tears across the Texas backroads. The ranch is still miles away, but the smoke growing on the horizon tells him everything he needs to know. Something terrible has happened. Beside him, Beth remains unusually quiet. Her face is marked by bruises from the kidnapping, but her eyes burn with determination. She isn't thinking about what happened to her. She's thinking about who ordered it. And more importantly, why. As they speed toward the ranch, Carter radios Rip with a frantic update. The main barn is on fire. Several ranch hands are injured. Unknown vehicles have been spotted crossing the southern boundary. The attack has begun. Rip's grip tightens around the steering wheel. For years he has protected the Dutton legacy. He has fought enemies, survived betrayals, and buried people who underestimated him. But this feels different. This isn't a warning. It's an invasion. Back at the ranch, chaos spreads in every direction. Cowboys rush to save trapped horses from burning stables. Emergency vehicles struggle to reach the property. Families gather their children and evacuate toward safer ground. The flames continue growing larger with every passing minute. Among the confusion, Carter notices something strange. The attackers aren't targeting random buildings. They are striking specific locations. The records office. The equipment sheds. Storage facilities containing decades of documents. Someone is trying to erase evidence. Someone wants the ranch's history destroyed. The realization changes everything. Meanwhile, Beth studies the information she stole from her kidnappers before escaping. A series of contracts. Bank transfers. Property agreements. Every document points toward a powerful corporation operating behind the scenes. For months, everyone believed the threat came from rival ranchers. They were wrong. The real enemy has billions of dollars. Political connections. Private security forces. And a plan that has been years in the making. When Rip and Beth finally arrive at the ranch, the sight stops them cold. Part of the property is engulfed in flames. Black smoke fills the sky. Several ranch hands are receiving medical treatment. The attack has caused more damage in a single night than the ranch suffered all season. Rip immediately takes command. He organizes search teams. Secures entry points. Orders armed patrols along the property lines. Nobody enters. Nobody leaves. Not until he finds out who is responsible. Later that evening, Beth gathers everyone inside the ranch house. The atmosphere is tense. Fear hangs in the air. Every person in the room knows their future depends on what happens next. Beth places the stolen documents on the table. The room falls silent. According to the paperwork, a massive development company intends to seize thousands of acres across South Texas. For several moments, nobody speaks. Then Rip finally breaks the silence. We don't run. The words are simple. But everyone understands what they mean. The ranch is staying. No matter the cost. As night falls once again, an unexpected visitor arrives. An elderly rancher named Hank Mercer. For decades, Hank has lived quietly outside town, avoiding politics and land disputes. But tonight, he carries information that changes everything. Years ago, he worked alongside Beth's father during a secret land negotiation. According to Hank, the corporation targeting the ranch isn't just after land. They're searching for something hidden beneath it. Something valuable enough to justify years of manipulation and violence. The revelation shocks everyone. Could there be oil? Rare minerals? A buried fortune? Nobody knows for certain. But suddenly the attacks make sense. This was never about cattle. Never about fences. Never about territory. It's about what's underneath the ranch. Near midnight, Rip receives another call. One of his scouts has discovered a hidden operations camp several miles away. Satellite equipment. Security teams. Vehicles. Dozens of men. The enemy is preparing for another strike. A larger one. This time Rip refuses to wait. Gathering his most trusted cowboys, he prepares a counterattack. Beth watches as the men arm themselves. She knows exactly what is about to happen. A line has been crossed. There is no turning back. Before Rip leaves, Beth grabs his arm. For a moment neither says anything. Then Beth quietly tells him to come home alive. Rip smiles. The same calm smile that has carried him through every battle. Then he climbs into his truck and disappears into the darkness. The episode ends with a convoy of ranch vehicles racing across the Texas plains under the moonlight. Ahead of them, lights from the enemy camp glow in the distance. Rip loads his rifle. The cowboys prepare for war. And just before the screen fades to black, a mysterious figure watches the convoy through binoculars. The figure reaches for a phone. A single message is sent. The realization changes everything. Meanwhile, Beth studies the information she stole from her kidnappers before escaping. A series of contracts. Bank transfers. Property agreements. Every document points toward a powerful corporation operating behind the scenes. For months, everyone believed the threat came from rival ranchers. They were wrong. The real enemy has billions of dollars. Political connections. Private security forces. And a plan that has been years in the making. When Rip and Beth finally arrive at the ranch, the sight stops them cold. Part of the property is engulfed in flames. Black smoke fills the sky. Several ranch hands are receiving medical treatment.